Wonderful. Our club now has 3 Southern Bells.
Yeah.
That's, mindfulness, meditation. I love it. Our second speaker, also giving her icebreaker speech, has, to be honest, I'm remembering to take note of a change in mid-direction. She's been a remarkable force in Toastmasters already, so I'm a little surprised that this is only her icebreaker speech. She has helped form another Toastmasters club at her place of employment, which is Dole. Is it Dole Fruits and Vegetables?
Dole Fresh Vegetables.
Dole Fresh Vegetables. They have a wonderful club. Betsy has been the driving force behind that. It is quite amazing, and MPS had better watch out because they got 30+ members already, and they just got started.
Yeah.
They are remarkable. Giving her icebreaker speech, a 4 to 6 minute speech, again with the purpose of introducing herself to her club. The title of the speech is "A Geek Before It Was Fashionable." I really want to hear this, so please help me welcome.
Actually, my icebreaker was scheduled twice, but then I failed to be able to be here, and so I apologize for the long delay in being able to present this for you. What's important to know about me? I grew up in Corralitos, California, just a short drive away from here. It's about 30 miles up Highway 1. I had a pastoral childhood, living at the end of a dead-end road surrounded by my parents' ranch. My childhood is populated with many entertaining, however not fantasy, characters, including my parents and my 5 brothers and sisters, as well as major roles played by livestock: bullfrogs, courageous dogs, coyotes, plus multiple species of livestock. I think I was genetically predisposed to be a bit of a nerd. My mom had her teaching credential and encouraged my natural curiosity and desire to enrich my mind. I was a bookish little girl, hence the glasses, always a good student, and found myself in blended classrooms with kids a grade ahead of me more than once during grammar school. My grammar school was populated with fabulous, very committed teachers. I developed a great love for music, singing in church and the school choir when I reached high school, participating in musicals, concerts, and the like. I played trumpet, piano, and string bass, but by high school I just wanted to sing. My voice was much more portable. I starred as Winifred the Woebegone in the musical Once Upon a Mattress, the musical rendition of The Princess and the Pea, as well as Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, and Adelaide in Guys and Dolls. As a result, I can usually find a Broadway lyric to match any situation in which I find myself. My favorite choir gig, however, was singing Beethoven's Ninth in full German, backed up by the Santa Cruz Symphony.
Wow.
That was just a blast. I love singing in the German because it's such a guttural, passionate language. I've sung in 11 languages today, last time I counted them up. After graduating from high school, I attended Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, where I graduated with the highest honors with a bachelor's degree in agribusiness management. I moved to Davis to attend UC Davis and found that I didn't like it. I was going to get a master's and PhD in ag economics, but I decided to switch to the MBA program at Sacramento State instead. My first job while pursuing my master's was as a controller for a 25,000-acre farming operation in the Sacramento Delta. I spent nearly 5 years in this role and bought my first computer, an Apple III, to make it simpler to prepare my farm budgets. Little did I know that my little desktop setup, which cost me almost $7,000, had more horsepower at the time than one of the mainframes at Bank of America, where my boss had his $20 million loan. I used the computer for everything from budgeting to payroll to trading commodities. You could say that I was a geek, and I recognized later that the acquisition of that first computer was probably a turning point for me. The vendor who sold me the Apple also recognized my geekdom as well, and convinced me to consult for him, and as a result, I ended up selling and consulting for Apple Computer and teaching computer applications in agriculture at UC Davis. The farmers who were my students loved me because I was one of them. My next career move was into agricultural biotechnology, working for a Davis company which produced seed for tomatoes, alfalfa, and pre-nuclear seed potatoes. There's a whole story in that. Again, the biotech company leveraged my geekdom and my synergy with the farming community, and I found myself flying all over the Pacific Northwest, explaining the potato seed product to the farming community, and more importantly, to their bankers as well. I also set up the company's order entry system on my personal Macintosh computer. Unfortunately, the company was venture capital financed, and the day that they laid off my boss, I called my recruiter, and he located a great job for me in a little town called Watsonville. How about that? All roads lead back to home. In November of '87, I became operations controller, human resource manager, and MIS manager for a quick turnaround, high technology printed circuit board manufacturer in Watsonville, which had 86 employees. I held this job for 15 years. It was the infancy of the internet, and ours was the go-to prototype facility for all the giants of the internet. We built the prototypes for the BlackBerry phone. We built the Medtronic pacemaker, all in prototype. We saw everything first, figured out how to build each design, and then we transferred the technology that we refined to a sister facility that manufactured the product in the millions. Fast times, fantastic breakthrough products, wonderful hardworking people were all around me, and to do the HR part of my job, they became like my family. I flew to our Boston headquarters 6 times a year through those 15 years and became a seasoned traveler coast to coast. My company did one acquisition in 2000 and became an acquisition target in 2001, and that was the beginning of the end. Because of the talent of my team, we were the last facility that they shuttered. But in November 2002, the job was over, and I and 272 of my closest friends were out of a job as the internet bubble burst. Consulting for 18 months in mid-2004, I went to work for Dole as their budget and capital manager. For 3 years, I constructed their highly complicated billion-dollar budget and also managed the construction finances for their $54 million North Carolina production facility. North Carolina, honey. Before my present boss recruited me for my current job, which is learning and development manager. Along the way, I met lots of internet dweebs and arrogant, egomaniacal engineers. But then, one day in 2002, I was introduced to my husband, Richard. He's an incredibly smooth salesman and owns his own business, a gate and garage door company, which he has operated continuously for the last 40 years. The Geek and me had a chance to build a website for Richard's business. And a year ago, I learned how to improve our rankings on Google, which was providential, given the economic downturn we're currently addressing. People don't want garage doors all the time, but they're certainly interested in gate systems so they can be secure. And we're finding that approximately 30% of our business is coming to us from the web. So I'm really glad my geekdom paid off. There's much more to tell, but we'll let the story unfold in other speeches. I wouldn't want to tell it all right now up front. I'm grateful for my life and all the wonderful people in it, and it's a pleasure to share a bit of it with you.